It's World War II.
Oh,
well, this has changed dramatically.
The bombs have fallen. There's mud everywhere.
I'll play this and not want to play SnowRunner for 3 years.
It's like Prees, but you just don't go out
I don't
afterwards.
know. I've still got that app on my phone that tells me I'm doing great.
Oh yeah, but
Even though I
because you
haven't
haven't
quit
input
smoking.
anything in it, it was like, good job, Joe. You've done a year of not smoking, and Joe's like, oh, fucking nice. Sick at this.
This was easy. Why was I ever worried about it?
Easy.
Merlin child.
It took me hours.
And then
I was there for like 5 hours, and I was like, and then I found out that you could do it with a spear, and I was like, oh, but Joe will never do that. Joe's a fucking idiot. And he picks it up and he goes, ooh. It's like, I'm in the control room, but the power's off. Isaac, go do fucking everything, and we'll stay here.
I was gonna say, if you've been playing that in secret and offline mode, because I've never seen you Aidan is spared. This is why he's up till 5 in the morning.
I was like Sims in my second life. This Aidan is happy.
Are you going to play SnowRunner?
I might give it a couple of years. Welcome to the Recently Played podcast, a podcast where we talk about our recently played games. Clues is a name. We're joined with Joe, Aidan, Denver, and me, Will. I'm not going to do the pointing because I always fuck it. So who wants to go first?
Denver.
Literally fuck it every time. Not worth it. So, does anyone want to talk about what they played first?
You do.
Me do. I played Mudrunner.
Whoa.
Okay.
What's Mudrunner?
Mudrunner is a game in which you run a truck through mud.
Is that legit all the game is?
Yeah,
no,
that is
well,
it.
yeah, it basically is.
It's like minor challenges and point to point.
It really is. Is
it a bit like SnowRunner?
Yeah, it's the
muddy?
original.
It's the prequel.
It's the prequel in the really in-depth story of
But
the runner
Mudrunner
games.
is the sequel to Spin Tires.
It looks
So-
quite in depth.
It's the second in a trilogy of mud-based driving games.
Really, it's
Are
really
you reading
difficult.
this straight from a website? Or something?
No,
That was- you sounded really professional.
Like Wikipedia.
You were like,
No,
it's
that
a
was
trilogy of mud driving gaming.
Denver should get on Wikipedia. Honestly, he sounds like a Wikipedia sometimes.
He sounds like a Siri speaker, to be honest.
Sounds like a Wikipedia, if you're asking
Hello.
me.
Wikipedia. Whoa. It's a game.
Thanks, Will.
We'll leave it there. Anyone else? No, it's just
No, I just started Mudrunner today.
right. Okay.
Oh,
But I played the original Spin Tires, which at the time, it was like, I don't know when Spin Tires
it was
was, like
mind-blowing.
2014. Well, no, it had like, the mud physics was like a massive thing of it, where it was like, you get stuck in the mud, you gotta winch yourself out, and like no other game kind of had that, I don't know,
Do you think there's a reason why no other game had realistic mud physics?
I think maybe because it was hard to do, and equally because it probably gets old quick.
the graphics look good.
At least
I can
Spin
vouch
Tires
for that.
did. Spin Tires got old quick, and that didn't have like the challenge mode or anything that like Mudrunner has. It
Can
was
you get
kind
out
of
of
just
the
like
car?
this.
No.
No,
Boring.
So it's I finished the game to the point of I call it finishing. By that I mean I had all the DLC for it. I did like every single challenge I did, and I got the 3 stars on all of them. And 2 of them were DLCs. But then there was like the main story, which was, when I say again story, it's just doing each
so
map.
what's the in-depth plot?
It's just doing everything in every map, which is all the same.
Is it just like a list of tasks then, or I haven't played the campaign yet? So
It's basically you have to get like a certain amount of stars for each one, which is like
Sound very plotty.
how do you get stars?
it's just like going to all the watch points, doing the 2
Stars,
tasks,
like,
which is
the
always
stars
just
the currency in
delivering.
this world?
I guess they are progression points. That's what they're called.
I want more in-depth story. Well, I'm gonna have to pass this over to Joe to give us the Mudrunner's lore. Joe,
It's World War II.
Oh,
Well, this has changed dramatically.
The bombs have fallen. There's mud everywhere.
So
And
much
you,
mud.
Jeremy Hicklewaff, has to run through the mud to get to the general to warn them more bombs are coming. And he went down in history as the Mudrunner.
Yeah. Honestly,
played the shit out of that.
I wish it was that, but it really isn't. It's just take logs to lumber mill. In every
fuel
map.
truck with other truck.
But like, you only have to do that if you run out of fuel. Like, that isn't even a task you have to do, unless it's sometimes in some of the challenges. But like, it's every map. It's just a different map, but the objectives are exactly the same. So it's literally just delivering logs to a certain lumber mill, but it's every like it makes it more and more painful to do every time. Like, you can't take logs through a certain barrier, so you have to go the tricky way, and the maps take fucking, even though they're not that big, it takes forever to get to like
I'm watching
a
gameplay
certain
of it,
point.
like, it doesn't look like you can drive more than like 2 miles an hour.
Oh no,
but
you
it's
don't.
You don't.
It's
There is
all fair.
roads.
If you ever do, you realize how bad the driving is.
All right, okay.
Because it has like a slow turn back. So say like you turn left, rather than you stopping turning left, and it will sort of like straighten up. It's hard to describe. Basically, like if you stop, the wheels just slowly creep back. So you'll keep turning left past the point you stopped pressing it. If you know
Just
what I mean.
like if you was in a truck, you'd be like this on the road because you can't like turn quickly. So
So it takes a bit of getting used to. Like when you first play it, you're constantly like weaving about trying to like counter yourself.
literally,
Can you get stuck in the mud? Like, and like, if you do, how do you
That's
get
the
yourself
whole
out?
thing.
very much so.
You
Oh,
can launch yourself.
Kieran has subscribed.
Subscribed.
Subscribed with Prime.
Subscribe! Thank
you, Kieran. Oh, no.
Such a subscribe.
What?
Surprise.
And what's it says? Joe should do audiobooks.
I
He
think
should.
you're right.
It's honestly quite good.
I think people would either like it would either go viral or there would be a mass suicide across like anyone who listens to audiobooks.
There's no in between.
Like,
Joe, the Marmite of audiobooks.
literally, people love it. Or you're gonna be hanging from a rope.
I feel like he'd put his own spin on stories, you know?
I'd
So
like
he'd
to
be
hear.
reading like Lord of the Rings or whatever, and he'd be like, and then Sam took the ring all the way up on his own, not Frodo. Frodo's a bitch. Frodo's a bitch. I'm God, brother.
My impulsive lying couldn't help it. I'd have to put a
Just
spin
starts
to make
lying.
it more interesting.
And then Gandalf stops them throwing the ring in the fire.
Just grabs his hand at the last second. You fool of a dog. I love that. Jaws, but there's a bigger shark, like the movie The Megalodon,
The Meg.
starring Jason Statham.
Fucking hell, awful. Honestly, I don't have a lot to say about the game. It is exactly as I explained it. I wish it was more like how Joe explained it, honestly.
It has a little bit more intricacies with the driving, as in like it's not just driving. There's like you've got to switch between like certain vehicles can have 4-wheel drive, certain vehicles you can lock the differential in the car. You have to actually start. Yeah, you have to actually start the engines on them. Like it's only like little button presses, but it's like a little bit.
It's just it makes it immersive, but
yeah,
why
you can
does it
drive in
matter?
the cockpit or like seeing the whole vehicle.
You can have it with the one where we played it. Me and Will did. We had it on gear. You had to gear shift yourself,
Oh
which
shit!
is quite funny because like you'd have to click down on the mouse and drag it.
Oh,
So you're driving along and you're like second gear.
Literally.
Some of the vehicles have like so many, but you barely ever get out of
I
like
was going to
second
No.
say
gear.
second.
I just
literally.
always did it on automatic because literally the only way of getting all stars is by doing hardened mode, which gives you that one extra star, which you don't need unless you want to 100% it, or if you want to just have that thing of like, I've done it all in hardened mode, which I didn't care that much. It was hard anyway, especially because it's not just mud you go through water, and some of the things
Not
are
called Water Runner, Will.
so-
This is ridiculous.
I know, but it's so difficult to like gauge how deep the water is, even though it tells you it's deep. Sometimes you could just make it through, and other times you can't, and you can't tell where it is.
Scale, is there?
To the point.
Of it, and I'm thinking, why?
Why would you play this?
Why would you?
Right, because it's
waste
hyper realistic,
time?
and I like the off-roadness of it. I like off-road shit.
Fucking boring.
It's not. It's surprise. Right, you stick on
it is
Luke
quite
Combs in the
satisfying, but it can
background. Stick on Luke Combs in the background, and you'll feel like a real American trucker. I swear. That's honestly what I just did. But I would say that it does very much get old to the point I was kind of done with the game. And I got to like the last story map that wasn't a DLC, and I was like, and I'd got, they take so long, like honestly, like an hour to 2 hours just to do a map, maybe longer sometimes, depending on how difficult it is, because it's so finicky on things. Like you'll get to a place and you'll be literally like so close to it, and you run out of fuel, and you're like, fuck, I've got to get a truck from the other side of the map, then go take it to a garage, fuel that up, and take it all the way there again, which will take me another fucking 20 minutes to get there. And it got to like the final one, and I completely fucked it and flooded 2 trucks on the final bit when I was so close to the end, and I had no other trucks to go and save them, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. This is it. I've had what I've got from the game. I can't do it, and I couldn't be asked to do any of the DLC. I did all the challenges, but I was like, I'm not doing the extra DLC maps. They're not going to be any different. I'm going to deliver more logs and get more frustrated at getting stuck in the middle of a fucking river. So I was like, you know what, I'm happy with this. I don't want to do it anymore. At first, I was like, maybe 100% it, but no, fuck that. I can't be asked.
Mudrunners is like listening to like people talking about their dream stories, isn't it? Really, it's like, so then I was driving, got stuck in the mud, didn't I? Second truck, rammed it in the back, got stuck in the mud. Third truck comes down. I was like, fucking hell, Will, like Jesus.
But I honestly found the driving really satisfying. Like, it's really like, it's slow as hell, but like winching up and stuff, you're like, oh,
It's
I
like
made it
that
out.
slow making it through
Yeah.
kind of thing. The maps are, I find like when you pan on the main map view, you think, oh, that's quite a bit of a drive. Like, got to go up there and left. So you get in a truck, you almost immediately get to that point.
I
Like,
know.
oh, I'm going left. I'm going left now.
So the maps are small. It just takes so fucking long to get there when you're like traipsing through shit, and it's hard to tell when like you're on hard mud or just soft mud. So you'll be driving, you'll be like, oh, this is going really well, and then all of a sudden you
Then
fucking
just
hit
boom.
this fucking. It's like ridiculous. It got just so grindy.
It's so hard to tell if you're driving on hard mud or soft mud. It's just an incredible game, guys. You've got to play it yourself. 10 out of 10.
How many
Right.
hours have you got in it? Well,
About
You
25.
have not solved this game at all. If anybody joined the stream,
Because
like,
I don't
I'm
want
a bit
anyone
of
to
a-
play it.
I want to be a
would-
Mudrunner enthusiast, but I don't know. I've never heard a review
I
of it
would
before.
say if you want to like just have a slow burning game where you're hyper realistically going through mud,
Through mud.
then sure, play it. And if you're doing nothing else, it's fine. But I don't recommend it. If anything, I bet SnowRunner's just a way better version of it. So
Oh god.
I just wanted to play that one first before playing that.
Are you going to play SnowRunner?
I might give it a couple of years.
like you get that itch to just to drive trucks slowly again.
My man's got fucking trauma from Mudrunner.
Honestly, I was sat at work like playing it, and I was like, I got to that point, I was so fucking seething. It's not very often I will not finish a game, but I got so close to the end, and I fucked it completely. And I was like, for me to just quit a game like that and be like, yeah, I'm done. It takes a lot. Like I'm so OCD to finish everything, and I just couldn't do it.
So out of 10? Sorry, no. This is a different. Out of 11? Different podcast, so.
Like a 4.
SnowRunner is on season 9 battle pass.
I know.
Battle pass?
Yeah, they just keep adding more.
What did they add?
More
Battle
trucks,
pass?
more mud, more
Yeah,
snow.
The word battle.
Mudrunner team
Well,
deathmatch.
So they just at first called
Capture
it
the
like,
log.
so you can get it as a pass. So you can buy the game year 1, year 2, and year 3 DLC, which is everything they've made, and it's £66.
Wow.
It's not bad actually.
I'm more of a train simulator guy. I want to pay 12 grand for all the train simulator DLC.
Oh, you literally just have to just sit there and toot a horn every now and
So,
again.
so season 9 of SnowRunner added 2 4-kilometer-squared Canadian maps, 2 new vehicles, and 1 firefighter skin.
Whoa.
Yeah, because you can't. Well, I'm guessing that you could just walk around in that. Because in this one, you're just in a truck and you swap to another truck. Oh.
The firefighter skin is for the Dairy Special 15C.
What did you think he meant by that?
I thought he was going to dress as a firefighter. That's like the guy just in the truck who can't move. You just see the skin.
You're just leaning out the window.
You can see him, can't you?
I was going to say, you can actually see your driver. Like, when he looks around, you can kind of see him, like...
Just thinking, but it means nothing. I thought you were just going to look at a certain camera pan and see this guy as a firefighter.
But it does have like little, like, I don't know, realism things of like if you play in the cockpit view, you can like stick your head out the window and then like you can hear the engine out of like certain, like it changes the sound.
All right.
Like what I mean is it has a little more thought about it than just amateur driving in mud.
I'm sure it's a labor of love. I'm sure the makers of Mudrunners were very passionate about making their mud run.
And it must be popular enough that they can, well, for SnowRunner at least.
SnowRunner's huge, isn't it, now?
Yeah, like, it's more than just snow maps now. I can see that it's, on some of the maps, it is just that mud again.
I think, like, it's very much a niche game. So I feel like only certain people enjoy it. I thought it was alright. I just didn't, I don't know. It just made me so frustrated that I don't know. I'm not a very patient person.
7,300 people are playing SnowRunner.
I feel like
more than Battlefield 2042.
I feel like the issues I had with that would probably be solved with another person, honestly, because you don't have to then go and find it all yourself. So
and there's someone else driving down the road.
Fellas through the mud, they might kiss.
So no, I would say if you're fancying that, just get fucking SnowRunner because it's just going to be better, isn't it? But
I wish I'd have heard this before I bought fucking Mudrunner now.
Right, it's still like satisfying, and it's good, and I think it's a good warm up to SnowRunner.
Right, okay.
It's why we do
but you're saying like
like
you're saying it's a big warm up. Like I'll
make the mistakes.
Like you'll play this and not want to play SnowRunner.
I'll play this and not want to play SnowRunner for 3 years.
It's like Prees, but you just don't go out afterwards. You're just like, nah, that'll do. We'll stay in.
The thing is, though, Denver religiously plays F1 Manager, which has to be the slowest. Well, you used to. It has to be the slowest, most boring game I think I've ever seen. So, I mean, Denver might enjoy this.
He might.
There's no
slowest, most boring game.
There's no boxes that come up and tell you that your tires are warm. So, like, is Denver going to want to play this? Probably not.
I've not played F1 Manager in over a month.
Oh my god, is that growth? Is that growth?
It's not growth. No.
Is that even an achievement? Though?
Evolution confirmed.
Say the word achievement in front of him.
Like saying you quit smoking. Like, oh, how long you quit smoking for? Like, a week. Like, it's like the same.
I love that Joe says that as if that's not an achievement. Yeah, the longest he's gone was about 3 days.
I've still got that app on my phone that tells me I'm doing great.
Oh yeah, but because you haven't input anything in it, it was like, good job, Joe. You've done a year of not smoking, and Joe's like, oh, fucking nice. I'm sick at this.
This was easy. Why was I ever worried about it?
I just do it for general life motivation now. It comes to it's like, you're doing a great job. Keep going. I'm like, thank you.
Other than
that's 15 minutes on Mudrunner.
I know. I was honestly saying I haven't got much, but I haven't played much this month, and then we've spoken about Mudrunner for so long.
Such a meme, isn't it? Really?
So other than that, I've kind of just played FIFA, and nobody wants to hear about that. So, and obviously I've played Hogwarts Legacy, but I honestly don't have anything to add that we didn't speak about last time so far, because I haven't played it that much. So, fire away, whoever wants to go next.
Well, you know our question.
I'll go.
Right?
I'll leave the question till the end.
All right, sorry.
I'll go. All
right, so I'll go next.
Okay.
No, can't you? I wouldn't do that to you. Right, so
So,
basically, what I was going to say is, no, Jared, please,
so
really,
Me-
guys.
me and Holly
Anyway,
have got through yet another game.
Oh, another scary game.
wow.
Another one off the box. What did we play, you might ask?
Bioshock
2.
1, probably.
Bioshock 1,
Bioshock
probably.
1.
Oh, 1. I thought you spoke about 1 last week.
No, he did Outlast.
That was Outlast 2.
That was Outlast 2 last time.
Right.
So we played Bioshock, which I've never played before either. And we both really enjoyed it.
Was it on PlayStation?
Yeah, on PlayStation. And it was a bit like that whether I was going to like it as well as Holly, because I know she's not a big fan of first-person shooters. She likes all the third-person stuff. She likes to see the character. And we both really liked it. She said it was better than Outlast. I'll give the rating at the end because I've asked her to rate all the games.
Didn't she rate Outlast like an 8 or something, though?
What did she rate Outlast? I'll have a look at
It
it.
was pretty high. Like,
Let's have a look. It was pretty high. Hold on.
Do you need a spreadsheet?
I've got it. I've got notes on my phone. She
Just
rated
good.
Outlast a 7.5 out of 10.
damn.
So she still rated that pretty high, all things considering. I was a bit iffy, like if I was going to like Bioshock or not, because it's quite an old game. It looked quite complicated, but it's not complicated at all.
So was this the first time you'd played it as well, then?
First time I played it as well. And I played a little bit of Infinite before, which I think is the third one. And I remember really liking that, but now realizing nothing like that at all. But yeah, really enjoyed it. I think it's a great story.
Does it have a weapon wheel?
It kind of has a weapon wheel.
No, I haven't finished it. I think I did like the first 2 missions, and I was enjoying it, but I got too deep into mud, so I
You're the wrong choice.
I know I should have kept playing it, but
because it'll be interesting to see our different endings. Because in the game you have the choice to kill all the little sisters or to save them, and you get like more what they call Adam, which I guess is like power. In the game, if you kill the little sisters, and we killed every single one of them, and I know Will's saving most of them.
I am saving
so it'll be interesting to see the different endings we get. It's pretty obvious there.
I bet you've already Googled it and watched it, have you?
No.
No,
I was saving it for Will.
more growth.
Oh my God. To be fair,
Which segues, I was playing Plant Simulator. No, it wasn't.
But
Is that a real thing?
I mean, just
Farming Simulator.
it was Bioshock was a really predictable story, but still good. Like even though I haven't played it before,
I can't
just the type of game it was and everything, it just makes me realize that they just don't make games like this anymore. Like it was so good, and it was nostalgic playing a game of that time. And even though it was like a remastered version of it, I mean, I think all they did was make the textures HD, and that was about it.
I was gonna say it does look very nice. Like playing it.
Yeah,
it was an early like PlayStation 3 era game.
Yeah, I think it was like 2009, something like that. It came out. I don't know. You might need to fact check me on that one. But
I'll have a look.
like really cool story, really cool atmosphere. The world's really cool. The combat's actually pretty good. Reminded me of Fallout a little bit, just because of the time,
The aesthetic,
and like the
how it's all like 1950s kind
exactly
of
the music and everything's very Fallouty. Just an all-round good game. I've not got much else to say about it. Holly really enjoyed it. She thought it was really good. She said she'd played the second one, but apparently the second one's known as the worst one. Not bad, but the worst one.
I think any of them are bad, really.
So we'll have to see. I know she won't like Infinite, but we'll have to see. But we're moving on to God of War Ragnarok for this next month.
How is that a scary game?
How do you struggle to say it?
How do you wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror and go,
Ragnarok?
Ragnarok?
Not all his games were scary, Denver. It's just
Not all the games are
like
scary.
80% of them
a scary game.
No, it's just games in
most of them
general.
were scary. That's the only thing. But also Resident Evil 4's just come out. So I think that might have been pushed to the top of the priority.
Is that actually out now?
Yeah, it is out now.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
I really want to play it. It looks fucking
really
amazing.
good.
And wasn't
And
Last
it's got
of
a
Us
really
supposed
good
to come out this month, or has that been delayed?
Yeah, it's
It's coming
28,
out.
2 days.
I was going to say coming out in a couple of days.
Fuck. I need to fucking
we
finish
have had time this is on
Hogwarts.
YouTube.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so other than that, she rated that game a 8 out of 10.
Not bad.
So she really liked that game. So I'm glad that we chose two starter games that she really liked. Because it's hard to get her to play another game.
Do you think? I was going to say,
It's
do you think
hard to
she'll just
please
bail if
everyone.
she doesn't like a game?
I
What's
agree,
that?
Joe.
What's that, Deborah?
Do you think she'll just bail if she doesn't like the game? Like, do you think you'll just not finish one?
What we've agreed is that if she doesn't like the game within the first 3 or 4 hours of it, then we'll just stop. Especially like games like God of War Ragnarok. That's cool. Ragnarok. Ragnarok.
It's impossible.
Ragnarok.
Just try. Just
Quite a long
try.
game.
That's such a long game,
That's
though.
such a long game, and then like Red Dead 2, which is such a long
Such a long
game.
game.
So we just decided like I'm not going to force you to like play like 60 hours of a game that you're just not liking at all. So like, but Red Dead's frustrating because it has such a long intro. So I'm hoping she likes the intro. But we'll see. Other than that, personally, I've just been playing a mixture of things. A bit more Hogwarts Legacy. Like you say, not much more to add, other than it does get a lot better. I'm really, really enjoying that now. I think the biggest issue is there's very serious things going on in the world, and the characters' dialogue does not respond to that at all. So it's a bit like what we were saying before. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but there was a side mission which involves a death of a very minor character that you don't even meet, and it's really dark. And like you go, oh my god, I like died. Like this is really sad and everything. And your character's like, I could sell my wares in Hogsmeade. And it's just there's no weight to anything because of like the way the characters like.
That is the
talk
face
and
of a
everything.
fucking psychopath. They're like, my very existence is in danger. I have too many pairs of gloves. I'm gonna go sell them.
All roads lead to Hogsmeade.
Merlin trials.
It's just Hogsmeade's like a vendor place or something. Or...
It's just like the main village
It's like
outside
the main
of.
village and the
What's
pleasure
funny
maze.
is you
It's in the
think it'd be
films.
big, but it's like 5 buildings.
No, it's like
It's
50.
tiny. It's fucking tiny.
It's quite
And
big.
It's so annoying when your
It's
character
average
gets,
size.
It's rather large, if you ask me.
I've really found what's really annoying me is like whenever your character in Hogwarts Legacy gets excited, it's really frustrating because he doesn't get excited like a normal person. Like he doesn't go, "Oh, that's really cool." He goes, "Merlin trial." it's like, fuck off. Like,
Bet Merlin would be proud of me for this one. He's like, oh, fuck me, just fuck off.
But isn't that fucking accurate, Will? That's so fucking accurate.
It's fucking
really
horrendous. The dialogue in that game is just ass.
fucking awful.
Maybe we're just too edgy for it, honestly. I don't
I think
know.
we are too edgy. But the thing is, you could dress your character up to look like the most miserable, fucking evil person, and he's still like, oh,
Yeah, literally. My guy looks like a fucking like villain. Everything's black and everything. You go to fucking Hogsmeade and he's loving life. He's skipping around. It's like, fuck's sake, this fucking game. But it's still really good.
But yeah, really enjoying that. Other than that, I started playing Last of Us 2 again. Just typical.
All right,
I'm
next.
always going through it.
Next.
Still a shit story. The dialogue is so bad in that game as
The
well.
dialogue is terrible in there.
But like, as a game, it's just fucking great. And I think that's about it. Again, more FIFA. FIFA's making me more toxic than ever. But you know, I still want to play more. I still want to unlock 90 rated Jackie Grealish by the end of the week. So I've got to keep playing. But yeah, really liked Bioshock. Really glad we played it. Really excited to show Holly God of War. And then I'm just
God of War what, sorry?
Ragnarok.
Yeah! Growth!
Right. So and now my plan personally is just to play some more Jedi Fallen Order before Jedi Survivor comes out. So I'm going to play through that game because I'm really excited for it. So there you go. That's
Fucking
me.
Annoyingly, obviously, Jedi Survivor was supposed to come out this month, and it was like perfect. I was like, all right, nice, nailed it. Now it's coming out the 28th of April, and I go on holiday 2 days after, so it's honestly making me want to die. But
No spoilers. You have to take your PC with you.
I'm honestly debating just playing it on the plane. It's a 10-hour flight. Like, can I get away with that?
You're hoping it'll run on Steam Deck and
yeah,
surely it would. Like,
it will.
It was the original on Steam Deck, so
Maybe like 30 frames or something. But
I know,
Yeah.
but it's annoying because I'm not getting like the full experience. But it's one of them. I'm willing to, but then I'll get to wherever I'm going, and then I feel like I won't be able to play it for like a week because I'll be too busy, and then it's like I'll forget shit. So do I just leave it till I get back? I don't know. I think I probably will. Annoying as it is, just no spoilers, please.
You'll just see how you feel when you're packing your bag at the time, and how. Do you think you could last with that? I think once you get there, you'll be busy enough
that I won't think about it too much.
Yeah,
no.
Like you say, it'll be the flight there and back where you'll be like, "Fuck."
Well, spoiler alert. Hopefully, it doesn't happen like last time where I see the fucking trailer that has Darth Vader in it. So, before I finish the game, fuck you, EA, fucking assholes.
Yeah, I forgot that happened.
And it was like that's supposed to be like the biggest like thing that you see in the game that like nobody knew about, and then they put it in the trailer a couple of months afterwards just to try and sell the game. I was so pissed.
Yeah, they definitely easily do that, don't they?
Wilson says, I felt the same with the dialogue in Hogwarts, that everyone was too nice other than the two villains. The NPCs just felt like they were irrelevant. I agree. I agree. The two villains are the only people that are like nasty.
So the two villains is the one that looks like tall, angry Willy Wonka and the midget with the giant nose.
Correct, yes.
Funny enough, he's actually called Ragnarok, so...
It's called Ragnarok.
Oh, no way!
Yeah.
Like the way Joe says it.
Yeah,
Ragnarok.
literally. He actually is.
It's called Ragnarok.
Is he? I don't remember the names. They're not that interesting.
God of War Ragnarok.
Wilson also asked, did you all choose what game covers went behind each of your boxes, or was it just a random order? Aidan.
That was me, lad. I sorted that out. Basically, a while ago, we sort of we discussed games and like our top games, and we were like, oh, like we really like this and blah 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 blah. And I was like, fuck it, I've got to fill something out. So I put every game that I remembered on there. Games that like we really like. I don't know what way my camera's facing. Is it that way or is it that way? Which way?
That way. The way you point it now.
This way.
Yeah.
No, the other way.
Well, Will's saying yes.
You're pointing at Spec Ops: The Line right now. Right?
So Spec Ops: The Line is like there, and like that is like one of my favorite games of all time. And like everyone's got one. Like I needed Skyrim, so Skyrim's like over there on Joe's side and stuff like that.
I do like Skyrim. Like,
but then you have like put things of like our favorite games around it, because like Sleeping Dogs is up there, and God of War is obviously amazing. I'm second after Ragnarok, but Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, best Lego game. It's all.
I feel like the first God of War just had a more appealing image, truthfully, so that's why I put it there. And also,
I guess it does.
For me personally, it's a better game, and you can suck my ass.
You can suck my ass.
I was the one that made it. You don't like it, you go into the file and change it.
So it kind of is our best games, but then I think there's like some random ones that we talk about a lot in there. Like Far Cry 3 isn't one of Denver's favourite, but it's in there.
But it is mine.
And like, but Death Stranding is like Joe's favourite game ever, so we had to include that. We had to include that.
Basically, I played it and they all had a go at me for buying it because they said it looks stupid and they said I'd stop playing it, and I did. But not because I was bored of it, because I stopped playing it for like 2 weeks. I was busy and then I just never got back into it. Just get off my back.
No, you don't like it, let's be honest.
But then clearly, like, in the time between now and then, you could have restarted and finished that game easily, and you haven't.
Well, it's a long game.
Because you don't want to play it, Joe.
You want to play God of War and Red Dead games you played before you
played Last of Us 2 a million times.
It's actually my third playing.
I reckon even if it was a 5-hour game, you wouldn't have been back to play it.
I think the reality is, if you enjoy it enough, you just go back to it, don't you? We never stopped playing Ragnarok. We never stopped playing Last of Us 2. So it's you just finish it. So it's
Last of Us 2 was a bit of a no life.
A what?
Literally, it made me feel ill just sitting and playing that all week.
Like we're literally not doing anything else other than playing the game.
Well, we all booked time off to play it, didn't we? So it was the time of just all getting through it.
Didn't it come out on a Friday or something?
It did, yeah.
It
I don't
did,
know.
I was going to say, I beat it by the end of that Saturday. I remember that. I played it the moment I got back, and I was just fucking...
You're a fucking monster. I don't know how you do
I'm
this.
a fucking animal!
It's
We're all finished
unbelievable. And
We're
it
all
was
finished in
you,
a relatively
Things
similar
tell
time.
their babies nightmares about how fast Aidan can finish them.
I still
you
don't
started
get how...
last as well. Like you started playing it
Oh,
last
God.
because I didn't
I
finish
still-
work till 1, and I was like, "Oh, Aidan will start playing it." He didn't start playing it till 3, and he still fucking finished before any of them.
I still don't get how Aidan finished God of War Ragnarok doing everything the same as we did 20 hours before we
I
did,
know
bro.
how.
Like, that is
How?
insane.
It don't make any sense.
Like, where did
Elden
that
Ring
20
under
hours
100
go?
hours, like 80 hours. How? It's
Where is the
unreal.
gap?
What has happened?
And not only that, throw out in Elden Ring that I killed Rykard with a fucking sword and beat him before you guys.
Just had to bring that in.
We used the fucking spear thing that Aidan's
That
so
was
pissed
so
about.
obvious, though. It said Serpent Killer on it. And
It
Aidan was
doesn't
like-
say it flies 50 feet in the air.
He's still pissed.
there.
Fuck's sake.
The thing is, that's Elden Ring in a nutshell, though. Like, so much of the gear, you're like, this could have some special ability that you won't know unless you just put it on.
They even have item descriptions, and in the item description, not anywhere does it say like, "Oh,
Use on
it was
Rykard.
like this serpent was this serpent slayer was the blah 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 that the king used to kill Rykard." I'm like, all right, sick. I'm glad he used it, but it's only got 300 damage, and my sword does 1,000. So I'm not going to use it, am I?
Unless it's just like, yeah, like
Unless it says,
It
"Oh,
imbued
fires
with
100
magical essence."
concussive blast towards face." No, it doesn't say that, Joe, does it?
It really doesn't. I didn't level
I'm
that
not the
thing up
idiot.
at all,
I mean,
and it's still.
But I'm not.
It kills him so quick. It's like the most broken thing in Elden Ring. I don't understand why everything else is so hard, and then they're like, Serpent Spear, kill him in like 20 hits. It's
I
like,
actually
what?
just don't know how Aidan did it. Because you have to go into that lava bit.
he just
And, like,
he
that
just
just-
sucked it
how
up.
do you
Do
do
you
that?
want to know? Do you want to genuinely know how I did it?
I do.
Right. So I got the highest amount of that. What they called? They were called teardrops, not Estus flasks.
Yeah.
Weren't they were called like tear. Or the highest amount, and as upgraded as I could. So I had 14, 15 of them at the highest level. So no magic. I put it all into those ones.
Yeah.
Right. I then had the mimic tier summon as high as it could possibly go.
Yeah.
And I needed to kill the first phase without ever being hit. If I got hit in the first phase, I'd let it kill me and just restart. And in the second phase, I summon the mimic tier and I just suck up the damage at the base of Rykard.
Fuck.
So every 13, like 15, between like 10 and 20 seconds, I would need to run out and quickly heal. It took me hours. I was there for like 5 hours, and I was like, and then I found out that you could do it with a spear, and I was like, oh, but Joe will never do that. Joe's a fucking idiot. And he picks it up and he goes, ooh.
I think I did it in my second attempt or some shit.
I don't know.
So mad.
I think I did it my second attempt as well. Aidan spent hours on this.
Right,
I
and
just remember
I
Aidan
fully
watching me
accept-
and he was like, what the fuck?
I fully accept that I'm an idiot. All right, I am definitely an idiot. I am an arrogant prick for assuming that I'm a twat. I should have just picked up and used it. It says Serpent Slayer.
It
I
does.
know I'm an idiot. Rykard's a big snake, and that's called
Yeah, but
Serpent
like,
Slayer.
you can easily go into that and think, oh, the game obviously assumes I'm not going to be this badass as I already am with my sword.
Well, I'll
And it's
tell you
like,
what.
here, have a helpful weapon.
Maybe it's
Don't
called
need it.
Serpent Slayer. If that's the case, guys, you're gonna like this. My sword is the fucking everything slayer on that game because I killed everything with that goddamn sword. All the bosses, all of them, they fell to me and big sword.
See, I got really fucked over, right? Because I found the bloodhound fang pretty early on, and you guys were all roasting me for it because it was really OP and everything. But then the last 5 bosses in the game don't take any bleed damage at all. So, like, the reason that sword was so good is because you'd hit him like 3 times and then a massive chunk of health would just go.
I know,
from the
I'm
bleed
being so
damage.
pissed at it.
And like I said, the last 5 didn't get hurt by
But
bleed
also,
damage. So
it didn't
was very
force you
difficult.
to like learn the
Yeah,
like dodging that
you never
much.
got good.
So it was really difficult for you.
Yeah, I got through like 3/4 of the game like resailing because of that sword, and then I just hit a fucking brick wall.
I remember
And
the
I just
brick
couldn't
wall,
do
the
anything.
fallen star beast.
Fallen Star
Beast.
Beast. Look, they're probably one of the easiest bosses on the
It was
game.
not hard at all.
It took me about 8
Yeah.
hours to kill that fucker.
That's
Like
great.
Jesus.
Funny part is, none of us have actually recently played Elden Ring.
I miss Elden Ring.
I miss Elden Ring. It's so
I
good.
wanna
And now
play it
there's the
again.
co-op on it, so we should play it
Co-op
together.
mod.
That would be cool. I'd like
Yeah.
to do that.
I'll be down.
Wilson 80 said Aidan is a wizard. Yes, he is a fucking wizard.
You're a wizard.
I'm a-
What
I'm
would
a-
your wizard name be, Aidan? If you were a wizard?
Spankers Wankers.
Yeah, I like it.
Right, who else?
Denver, do you want to go? I just shouted for 5 minutes, so I need to let my voice recover.
Okay. I have not played Elden Ring this
No.
month or ever.
Boo!
I know.
You
I know.
you kind of missed out. We always speak about that. It
It's
was
such
an
a fucking good
experience, wasn't
game.
it? When we were all playing at the same time, it was like, oh.
I think it's just a case of I'm terrible at those kind of games.
But it's
It's
so
not-
different
Every
to
time
like
I've
Dark
tried,
Souls, though.
every
You
time
get-
I've tried to get into it, I've just been terrible at it. And if I'm that terrible at a game and don't feel like I can easily
but-
improve, I just get bored.
But it's very
it's one
different.
of the easiest to get into. Like I've tried Dark Souls and stuff before, and I've just gone, "Nah, this isn't for me." This is the only one that I've gone through, and I've gone, "This is really fucking cool."
Maybe.
It is amazing.
Like it's really easy to get into. Like it starts you off really, really gently.
Yeah, like you start with Limgrave, don't you? And that's like quite.
Yeah, it's quite easy.
I love that we were like,
it.
it starts you off early. Do you not remember the OG Tree Sentinel when you walk out? There's just that
That's-
twat in the
to be
gold
fair.
armor.
Oh my, yeah.
You're like-
Don't get me
You
wrong.
stood there with your club, but I was the naked guy, and I was like, yeah, I could fuck him up.
He fucking one slashes you and you're dead. Fuck me. It's so unforgiving, that game.
That's what I like about it. Roll the clip. I love being fucking railed by games.
Dude.
And Elden Ring, it filled that void. It filled a 7-inch gap in my asshole.
Fucking hell.
I think so I was last month I was playing through the Metro games.
Yes.
So I was playing Exodus, but ended up stopping because I was playing it on Steam Deck, but the inconsistency of it not running at 60 FPS on Steam Deck was kind of just throwing me off.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
It wasn't like unplayable by any means. That you could stick it on 30, like locked at 30, and it was fine playable. But I was like, I think I'd just enjoy this more on my PC. So I've switched now to play that on PC, but I haven't actually started on PC. So instead, I started playing Hades.
Oh, that's very high rated.
It's a very good game.
I bought it like a year or so ago and barely played it, so I've been playing that through. I don't really enjoy it, to be honest.
It's so good.
Give us a mini plot summary.
You are the son of Hades,
Called.
Zagreus or something.
No.
It is
Oh,
Zagreus. It is
Is it
Zagreus.
Zagreus?
Yeah.
I was hoping you didn't know it, to be fair. I was going to bait him into it.
It's like Zagreus, yeah.
It is
And-
Zagreus.
Mhm.
You're just going through the underworld trying to essentially defeat bosses, you gain favor with gods of Olympus like Zeus and
All the other
can't fuck it,
homies.
all the other ones.
The
And
fellas.
they give you like different abilities. So you have like you have an option of 6 different weapons, which you unlock through like, because it's like a roguelike game where you like run into the dungeon, you kill stuff, you unlock like bonus perks, you can unlock sort of bonuses to certain abilities. So like, say one of the weapons, for example, is like a bow and arrow. Normally you have to like pull the bow back and release it for like to damage. But like you might pick up a perk where it's like, oh, now it doesn't do as much damage, but it's now like rapid fire. So rather than holding it down, if you hold it down now rather than charging up a shot, it'll just go like bang, bang, bang. It'll just like rapidly fire off arrows. And then you could combine that with like, you could bump into Zeus, who's now, he now makes your arrows electric. And then you bump into Zeus again, and he can now give like another electric buff. So if you keep running into the same gods, you can like intertwine different stuff. You can like run into, I don't know who the god of war is. I forget all the gods. Like he has
Ares.
like, is it Ares? Yeah.
Or
Ares,
Artemis. They're both God of Wars.
He adds like this Doom ability, which is where like kind of a bit like Bleed, but like you hit an enemy with an attack, and then he automatically gets hit with another Doom attack afterwards.
Would you say it's a satisfying game?
Incredibly.
It is a satisfying game, but it's when you die, you start right from the beginning again.
Right.
Okay.
So
But you
I don't know
level
how
up.
many. Yeah, but you take like these experience tokens with you, which you can then use to like level up or give yourself more lives.
Isn't it like a roguelite light kind of thing? So like normally a
it's not a
roguelite
hard
just you
restart.
like hard reset,
No.
but this is like one where you keep a load of the stuff that you get and you're able to upgrade and then just keep it. So eventually
So
you will
don't
do
keep
it.
any of like your
Right.
perks or boons or anything like that, any
No.
abilities you picked up, but you keep experience, which then you can use to like give yourself more life for your next one, give yourself extra
keep
lives,
upgrading yourself type.
give yourself more coins, make it so that you gain a little bit more health from doing this or doing that, and various things. And
But
you
like,
can lock.
The perks are different as well. So like you could have seen Zeus that time round, but you die and you could get like someone completely different the next time. So you have to work with these different perks, but then you end up like hoping that you get Zeus or someone. You're like, I got really far with these perks. And then you get some really shit ones, the one after, and you're like, don't make it half as far, and it's so irritating.
Yeah, like I got
I've
one.
got a really good skill set with Zeus, and you walk into a room, and he's like, "Hello there," and it's like, "Fuck off, Poseidon, not you!"
Literally,
and it's like, but you can then. So there are these trinkets which you can unlock by, because there's so many characters that you meet, and you can give them gifts, and gifts unlocks a trinket related to that person's thing. So, for example, if you give Zeus a gift, you can unlock a trinket, which means the first time you go into a run, you'll always see Zeus.
yes.
Oh, but is that a one-time or is that always?
No, so that's the first time of every. So the first time of every run.
No, yeah, I mean, like, yeah. So it is always. It's like forever after you got that trinket, it will always be in the first room.
No,
or is the
so
trinket
it's only
only
at the
last
very
one?
start of at the very start of your run, you will meet Zeus.
Yeah, every
and that's
time.
That trinket. yeah, even if you died and then rerun the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, good. I feel like we were on two different.
Yeah,
levels.
sorry, I thought you meant like every time you ran, because there's like I don't know how many.
No, not like
bosses.
every floor or whatever. Like you mean like after a boss, you go on to the next floor and he's there again.
So basically, every floor has like a certain amount of mini bosses. Maybe like you could run into none of them, or you could run into up to like 3 mini bosses in like a level before you meet the final boss. And the final bosses are almost always the same. They're always the same, at least type of boss. And then you defeat them, and then you go to the next one. I've never got past the 3rd boss so far, and this is after about 3-4 hours of playing the game. But the one thing that I find almost most impressive at the moment is every time I've spoken to a character at this point, the dialogue has always been different.
It is.
It's never been the same, like, oh, back again, guess you failed.
No, like it's very much made. You are supposed to die a bunch of times.
Like I don't know what point I get to it where like I'm not progressing fast enough and they start repeating dialogue. I don't know if that ever happens, or like you just stop seeing characters. But like you're always having new dialogue with people.
That's right.
And like I said, the starting trinkets can be quite. Some make it easier, some make it like say I said the one about where.
Sorry, go on. I was just going to ask: is there actual like voice actors, or is
yes,
it
it's actually voiced as well. It is an isometric game. I didn't stress that at the start, but it is like an isometric game. And I was going to say, like, so like the starting trinkets, for example, you have the one where it's like, oh, you always meet Zeus first, but then some of them, it's just like the trinket is you have an extra life. So like that one just makes it easier. Some will be like, oh, these type attacks will do more damage, or like some work in sort of skills with other weapons. But also the game
limited by trinkets. Like how many can you put?
You can only have the trinkets are different to what you pick up within the game. So you are not limited to they call them
your
boons.
Abilities. Oh, sorry, boons. Yeah,
you're not limited, which are like the perks that you pick up from within the levels. You're not limited on them.
But you only get one trinket. At the beginning.
You only get one trinket that you can start. You pick that one you start with of ones you've unlocked, and you unlock more by giving different gods and characters gifts.
Sure.
And gifts you unlock by just playing the game. And So, but you're limited. So, like each skill you have like on. So like on a controller, you've got your four buttons on with your right hand, like your X, square, triangle, circle.
Yeah.
One of them is an ability, so you can have one enhancement on each ability, but you can level up the enhancements, kind of thing. To do different things, like for example, Zeus. One he can give I'm just remembering the Zeus ones because that was the last time I played it. Where every time you dashed, which is with the X button, you let off a lightning bolt just by dashing. And I had that combined with another character who gave me an enhancement on it, where every time I dashed, I was invulnerable. So it created this short window where, it did fuck all damage, but it did work for a while, of I just spam dash everywhere and I can't be hit, and I'm just doing minimal damage by just shooting back and forth around characters.
But it works.
Sounds like a very exciting way to beat the dungeon.
But obviously it balances it a certain way where there's a small window where you can still be hit in that window.
Yeah, sure.
And if you suddenly get hit by a big attack or get stunned, and suddenly then you get almighty hit, and you're like, oh, it might have been easy just to fucking stay away rather than try and dash around the same character.
Yeah, sure.
But really,
with Hades 2 coming out, I might actually genuinely pick up Hades 1.
It is really good.
I don't know, those top-down games have just never been my cup of tea.
So I never thought that either, but honestly, it is generally quite good. I remember
it's got a lot to it, a lot of depth, and there's also there's enough RNG in it where you could sometimes just get a mega build that could just really help you. But then if you're good enough at the skill to learn bosses, like I've had to replay the first boss so many times. But then suddenly the first boss changed and she had new attacks. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I've just got to learn how she was, and now she's changed. Because the game learns when you've run that boss so many times with the same weapon.
Sure.
The game also... so there's 6 main weapons, but it'll be randomly, every time you start, it'll be if you use this weapon, we'll give you bonus experience. So it's
it gives you an incentive to.
Yeah. So at the moment, I always just pick whichever's the highest XP one.
Sure.
I've never some weapons I've never used, but it'll be to try and force you to change it up rather than just going right. I'm going to use the spear and nothing else until I learn the spear.
But because I remember we were speaking before, because you was always just using bow and arrow before, weren't you? And I remember I was just always using sword because I thought the arrows were really fucking. I was just doing shit with the arrows, so I guess it's different to each player as well, which they kind of how they play.
Yeah, and it so depends what abilities you can get. So with the arrow, I had it before where the rapid fire one made it so much easier, but then equally had one where you just had to hit one enemy and then it just bounced off 4 enemies.
Yeah,
that's
super handy.
Something wrong there, Joe?
No, I was just looking at the chat, seeing if anyone put anything in.
Oh.
But yeah, in general, it's a very, very well made game for what it is, and I'm really enjoying it at the moment. I'm just hoping I'll actually be good enough to beat the game, or whether it'll eventually just get so easy. Because even though there is experience, there's only a certain amount you can level each extra ability up. It's not just infinite, so the game won't just become piss easy.
Yeah,
there is a cap. But I'm looking forward to it.
It gets harder as well after each boss.
I didn't expect you to play it. I don't know why. I wasn't expecting you to hear him.
It's not got menus, or warm tires or F1 cars. It don't matter, does it?
It's a very pretty looking game though. It looks super. Nice.
Aesthetically, it's got a great visual style.
It works great on the Steam Deck as well, which definitely helps.
I'll have to
give it a try and of course, again. Yes, I am rich. Yes, you may be wondering how I have a Steam Deck.
Well, it's 10% off in the spring sale.
Not anymore.
No. Is that over now, the spring sale?
Yeah.
They also ran out. Joe went to go buy one on the last 2 days. They sold out.
It was out of stock, I know.
You got a monitor instead, Joe.
I was going to say, it was either that or a monitor, and I got a monitor, so I'm happy.
It's better for streaming.
Buzzing, lad. I'm actually excited for you to use it to its full potential, which is watching football on one screen and playing a game on the other.
Yeah, it's
playing FIFA on the other.
That's literally what we do.
Oh yeah, football and then football, yeah.
Aidan.
Yeah, what's up?
What have you been recently playing, my friend?
Oh, you know me, Joe. So recently, The Sims 4 came free on Steam.
No way.
And
I
I'm
have
in
not
touch
played
with
that.
No, of course I
Ah.
fucking haven't. What are you on about, guys?
I was gonna
I
say,
have
have you
been
been playing
playing-
that in secret and offline mode? Because I've never seen you. Aidan is spared. This is why he's up till 5 in the morning.
I'm just like Sims in my
Sims.
second life. This Aidan is happy.
He's going to work.
To be fair,
I drowned this Aidan for being happy. I drowned him.
this Aidan's banging all the women. He couldn't beat Rykard with a sword.
Locks him in bathroom. Dies of starvation. Fuck's sake.
No, I was actually, I've been playing. Here you go, graphic on screen. Thanks, Will. I've been playing Oxenfree.
Yes.
It was a recommended game by Will Davey about 6 years ago.
Oxenfree.
Where it was like,
What's that?
let's
An
play.
indie game.
You should play Oxenfree. It's an indie game. It's a bit artsy fartsy. It's like a walking simmy sort of thing. And Will was like, you should play it. And I was like, no. And then a few weeks back, it come on sale. And Will was like, Oxenfree's on here. You should play it. And I said, I'll play it if you buy me it. And he did because he's got too much money.
It was £2.
So Will bought me Oxenfree, and I was like, no excuse now, have I? So let me give you the rundown straight away. You play as Alex, somebody with blue hair and a radio. Those are her redeeming qualities. You are heading on a little boat to an island with your best friend forever, who is a drug guy called Ren.
Drug.
And yeah, drug. He's a bit of a druggie, but you don't find that out till a little bit later.
Right.
And you're also there with your stepbrother called, I think, Jonathan. I think it was. It's like a bit of a bad boy, bit of a cool guy, or Joshua. That might be his name. Joshua, actually, I feel like sounds right.
Come on, step bro.
It's a bit like that, yeah. Actually, you know, you bang all the time. It's fucking fantastic. There's a section in the game where you get locked in the washing machine and you have a quick time event to escape. Otherwise, step bro comes in. And, like,
The button
hungry
doesn't
for that
work.
ass. The button doesn't work. It's because I wasn't even trying to press it, to be fair.
Do it.
No, that's weird. No, and you basically head into this island. It gives you a load of backstory. It's like, oh, this island, we used to come here when we were younger and all this shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then you go there, you meet with a couple other characters and stuff. You just wander around. You got your little radio, and the radio's like the main part of the game.
Yeah,
You've
it's
got-
all,
you've
it's
got
all
this
about
handheld
frequencies
radio.
and stuff.
It's
I'm
about
watching-
frequencies, and you walk over to like shacks and stuff, and it tells you about it. It gives you like information on the islands. Oh, it was built in World War II. It used to be like an air raid place, or blah blah blah. So I was like, all right, fine. It's a slow burner, not in terms of it doesn't get into the story quick. Like the main event happens about 20 minutes after you get off the boat. Like it's quick, it's fucking fast paced.
I'm watching gameplay of it. It just looks like walking simulator.
It is like a walking
It is
simulator.
It's more story than it is.
It
gameplay.
100%. It's definitely a story thing.
It's a bit of like a telltale. Because you can choose like what you say, can't you? Am I right in saying
Well,
it's been a long while
yeah.
since I've said?
Yeah, you can, and I'll be getting to that a little bit later. So, fucking hell, where was I? Shit, Joe, you throw me off. You get again.
really
You've ruined
sorry.
it again.
They're bringing out a second one.
I think
Yeah,
it's already
they-
out.
It's
Is
not
it?
yet. Not yet.
The Lost Frequency. Or
They've
something
done a
like that.
trailer, but it's out. Publisher Netflix. Sorry, carry on.
Anyway,
Yeah, Netflix has games, hasn't it?
I didn't know they did. What games
Yeah.
do they have?
Like shit, like mobile type games.
Oh, so like cash grab shit.
I do think you can play the first Oxenfree on mobile. To be honest.
I can imagine you can. It's a very simple game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quick to the point and yet somehow still feels slow. Mainly because I wasn't really bothered about what they were saying or doing, like the characters. I was just like, all right, whatever. The controls are clunky as hell. A lot of the time, they're not even walking the right way that you want them to. I played the whole thing on controller, which Steam spat his dummy out at. Had a bit of a hissy fit. It didn't like it. Every time I paused the game, the stick would like vibrate between the resume and hints thing. It was like, and I was like, all right, cool.
Like FIFA.
But yeah, an event happens. I don't want to spoil it too hard, but something happens, and it's alluded to that it's something to do with frequencies, and it might be paranormal, it might be time travel, It might be temporal rifts. And even by the end of the game, it doesn't tell you really what it was.
No.
You basically find out what's going on through main story events, main story beats, like finding notes and stuff that you can just read, or like hacking into frequencies where you catch snippets of the story that are clearly not in order. Like you find them in a different order to what they happened in.
Yeah.
Sure.
And some of them have like dates and stuff before them and stuff like that. But it is interesting. But it's playing it made me realize I'm not a very nice person.
Why is that?
Because there's an achievement at the end for making everybody like you. And I didn't even realize this. This is like a Metro thing. This was like there were hidden choices throughout the game and like dialogue decisions. And everybody hated Alex by the end of it. Everybody. And I was like, I was picking the things that I thought were nice. I thought I was picking the right things.
I did remember being frustrated with that because I was like, it seems nice, but then like people take it in a completely wrong
take
way.
It bad, or like Alex says it really sarcastically.
Yeah, and it's like, no one would say it like that.
It's always the issue with these type of games, though. It's like, and it always annoys me on games where they're like, they give you dialogue options, and then you say it, and they don't say what the dialogue options.
So they're like, I'll do that. I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Like, Fallout 4 had that really badly. It was like there'd be a weapon wheel thing, wouldn't there? And there'd be one option, like someone would be like, "Oh, spare some change," and it would say like, "Not now," and you click it, and he'd be like, "Piss off, you old hag!" God damn it!
Like, I never knew. Was that in games where it was like, did your character have other stats which actually then sub-depended on what they said?
No, I think.
Or was it always just like,
shit?
Like if you had a good reputation, did he say when you said no, they like said something? It was just always piece of shit.
Yeah, there was a mod that told you like all the actual dialogue before you said it, which was like much better.
It just seems stupid when they do that in games. Do you think they do it for the like, oh, what's he actually going to say?
I don't know. Hogwarts suffers from this because I remember someone asked me like, "Oh, can you do this quest for me?" type of thing, and like you've got two options: no, I don't have time, or yeah, I can do that for you. And he always goes, like, you click it, and he goes, I seem to not really have time, but if I do, I'll come across it. And I was like, then the dialogue option is that absolutely I'll do that for you. Type of thing. And he's always so shady about it. And you're like, no, I'm just going to go do it now, lad.
Also, based on what you just said there, it sounds like you can't not accept the quest. Even no sounded like he was going to try and find out anyway.
You can't just say, no, I don't know.
Oh, so it's just what you said then, Joe.
Yeah.
You're worse than the damn characters here.
I must be.
You just lied.
No, I didn't. I said it's no.
If I have time, I'll look for them.
Yeah, that's the yes.
What?
It is.
The no. Yeah, I'd love to.
It's like, this doesn't sound like my problem. That is the usual thing.
Yeah,
that was savage. Sorry, I misinterpreted. I apologise, Joe.
It's all right, mate. Don't worry.
Now, can you apologise for can you cutting into my review? And not only that, bringing up fucking Hogwarts Legacy again. Sick of hearing about silly wizard game. You've not even finished it yet.
It's a fucking big game.
With nothing in it.
There's loads in it.
Not true, there's loads.
Oh yeah, loads of nothing.
I don't know why you think this. There's so much. Like, honestly, so much.
You just fly down and there's somebody there and they're like, "Please find my ball, sir. My ball, it's over there in the woods, sir. My ball fell over." And then you go get it. They're like, "Thank you." And then you walk down the road and there's a camp of goblins. They're like, "We'll kill any small wizards that walk in here." and then you step past it and there's another guy like, "Did you see my brother? He had my ball, but he's gone missing. Can you find him?"
The stakes of the quest.
The content that you have is just the same thing.
No, they're not.
It's The Witcher.
It is like a Witcher. We brought this up like 3 reviews in a row.
No, there is so much in that game. It's ridiculous.
Please, Mr. Witcher, find my horse. It's behind the house. Thank you, Richard.
It's in their own land.
Where did you last see it? Well, I locked it in the house, and then I closed the shutters, and then it was gone. You open the shutters and the horse is there. He's like, nibbles!
No, it's more like, oh, here's the horse. You send the horse back, and then huge raven swoops down for battle.
My horse has been taken, Mr. Witcher. Please, it was 7 months pregnant.
My brother went up to look at the camp 3 days ago, and he hasn't returned.
You go up there and you find him outside the camp going, I was going to go in, but then I got scared and pissed myself.
No, it's more like they find it's like, I actually fucking hate my brother.
Yeah, this is my camp, and I'm the bandit leader. All right.
And then the girl's just like, okay.
I'm excited for you guys to get around to playing that because it's such a meme, and I don't like it.
I love Witcher 3.
I don't. I couldn't get into it. I just don't like Geralt, really.
I've tried it like 5 times now, and I just can't.
My most recent playthrough, I got like
enough
30 odd hours in, and I was just like, it's just not for me.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't do anything by any means, but
imagine dedicating like 30 odd hours to something that you're still not like.
That's it.
I was just like,
it's a long game. If you're not into it, there's no point.
Anyway, sorry, off track. The last sort of things that I was basically going to say is the voice acting for the main sort of like 3 characters are really good.
It is,
and that
really
is
good.
like Ren, the Joshua guy, and Alex.
Yeah.
They're really good, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Really, I played it, and I can't really recommend it to anyone.
It's nothing special. It's just an interesting story.
You'd get the same experience from watching it as you would playing it.
You would.
Okay, how long is it?
If you look at my Steam, I think I finished it in like 4 hours or something.
It's not long
I
at
might
all.
just watch a playthrough of it type of thing to see if anyone.
Jacksepticeye played it, I think. But...
Okay, cool.
I remember that's the reason. Back in the day when I used to watch all his playthroughs, I remember I watched like the first hour and I was like, no, I'm going to play this myself, and I did. And then I said for ages that it's just like, and it goes out. It is a gorgeous looking game as well for like the art style. Like it's so nice.
Oh no! See, I don't like it.
I
It gives
fucking
me those,
love
like,
the art style.
The Coraline-y sort of like.
I love it. Absolutely,
It makes
love the
me
art
kind of
style.
uncomfortable, to be honest.
I fucking love.
I think the colors are really like toned weirdly, like grayscale.
No.
Like it's done deliberately so that the things that happen are really like brightening your face.
They are.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I can't say that I particularly cared for anything in it, really.
I think I need to replay it now because I played
I think
it so
you don't.
long ago. I don't know. Yeah, but I might play it again before the new one comes out because I think I will play that as well. Like, it's a interesting story. I think it does a good job as well of like.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is very creepy and like it does make you feel like
It's
like,
unsettling.
Yeah, it's like really unsettling. It's like not
but it's
horror
because you
by any
don't know
sense.
what's going on.
Literally.
And there's a couple of set pieces where you're like, "What the fuck happened?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
One of them in particular is quite graphic. And
But
you're
it doesn't
like,
explain any of it. Like,
No, it doesn't.
No.
It's left
do you
very.
think the second game will explain it, or do you think
I
it's meant
honestly
to be
don't
like
know.
that?
Like as I say, it's all alluded to that there was this bigger plot and that this thing, whatever it was, has been around for a while. And like the main woman of the island was like part of the reason it happened and all this shit. But she's not around anymore. And like it all just unfolds in a way that's like written like a children's story, but like a toned up to 11 kind of thing. Like it keeps you on the line long enough for you to be like, okay, I want to see what happens.
Yeah, sure.
Just the final thing I would say is that, and it shows you kind of like my level of understanding situations. Really, there is a moment where you climb up all the way up to this tower, and 2 of the people, Ren and Joshua, have a dispute about something that's happening, and there's another girl there called Mona. Insert joke here, can't be bothered. So they're arguing about shit, and you're like, whatever kind of thing. And then you've got to go do something else because, like, much like in every game, the protagonist is the scapegoat for everything.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you remember, like, Dead Space 1, where they're just like, I'm in the control room, but the power's off. Isaac, go do fucking everything, and we'll stay here. It's like that.
I really want to play the remake of that as well.
The remake looks great.
It does look really good.
But yeah, we're up in this fucking tower. They're talking, oh, we need to get this radio working. We need to do this. Alex, you go do it, kind of thing. And like they're just yelling at each other, and they're like, "Who do you want to take with you?" it's already established at this point in the game that Ren wanted to pursue a relationship with Mona, and this Joshua guy's your stepbrother that you're supposed to want to spend time with, kind of thing. So you get the option of who to take, kind of thing. They're arguing, and I was like, they need bonding time, right, guys? Like, surely Ren and Joshua need bonding time to make it, like, get over their pettiness. Right?
Sure.
So I took Mona. That just ruined everything. Mona's got about 3 lines of dialogue, and then it was silence for about 20 minutes.
Oh no!
And then they hate that you get back to where you were going, and they just still fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I've just ruined everything.
So do you think it was you were meant to take one of them away for the?
I think I was
argument,
meant to take Joshua to leave Ren and Watson.
Yeah, I think I took Joshua.
But then this was my logic. I'd spent the last like fucking 2 hours with Joshua.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend more time with Joshua. Like, he's a good character, and they're all quite well voiced. Well, especially the main 3. And Clarissa is the final character, and she's a raging bitch. That's kind of the whole point. It's like she's just fucking horrible. She's like a rancid piece of shit. And no, legit. And anytime they try and make you like her, you just hate her. But yeah, Oxenfree, worth a play? No. Just watch it. Just watch someone play it.
Worth watching though.
No.
Okay.
I think it is. I think it is. It's interesting.
If you want to experience a primary school level story with no real resolution, watch Oxenfree. In fact, I might tell you what, I might actually watch Oxenfree again just to see somebody do it the correct way so he becomes friends with all of them. Maybe there's like a secret ending.
Sure.
And it did give the impression that there were multiple endings as well, but like, you know, I just went home on a boat. Spoilers. Just went home.
I can't remember what I ended up doing now.
But yeah.
Anyone
Fuck
else?
you all. Fuck you all. All right.
This has been running for like an hour and a quarter, so I'm just going to do a quick question of the month.
Yeah.
With it.
And it's kind of gone with what Joe was speaking about earlier, but what game do you go back to the most of any games you've played?
Oh, that is a good question.
Last of Us Part 1. Every time I've played that game, like surely over 50 times now. Like I've never played a game as much as I've played that one. It's just always holds a special place in my heart. Always just a nice.
Is that in rules? Is that in rules?
No,
Always
I mean,
nice, yeah.
so what I'm replying to, like, is like FIFA, for example.
Yes.
Like, are you counting these,
I mean, I
or are you
guess,
counting like a single player game that you just replay the same thing over and over?
Should we keep it away from COD and FIFA just so that you get like?
So
because
we're talking
everyone
about a game
gets
where
them,
it is
right?
the like almost the exact experience over and over
Yeah,
again.
yeah, we'll do that
Keep
because
playing it anyway.
if not, I get every FIFA every year, so it's gonna be a bit
I was
boring.
going to say, I bet
isn't
statistically FIFA is probably my most played game ever, almost.
it? Yeah. So maybe just pick a
You had them
singular
all.
game that you've probably replayed the most.
Well, there you go. Last of Us Part 1. Every time it's just so fucking good.
Big up. What about you, Will?
I
You
think
thought about this?
honestly, it's probably Lego Star Wars. I can't lie. I don't
Which one?
think I'll like the original complete saga, not the Skywalker saga, because I don't think I'll go back and play it now. But like before this, 100%, I don't think I've played a game that many times, especially when I was a kid. Like because I would just play it over and over again because I had no other games to play really, and I always wanted to play it again. I guess like
I think that's a big thing, like especially
Yeah.
when you were younger.
yeah.
Like,
And I can't think of any recent games that I've. That being said, I'm pretty sure I've played Jedi Fallen Order like 3 or 4 times, which I don't really play many modern games that often. I've played God of War twice. I struggle with like the longer games to replay them because I just want to keep playing something new. That's the trouble. Whereas I think back then I would keep playing the same stuff over and over. Because like Ratchet and Clank could very much fall into that. I've probably played that equally as much as Lego
that's
Star
very,
Wars, to be honest.
It's a really good point because I think if like Red Dead Redemption was like 2 was like 10 hours long, I'd be playing that shit every fucking day.
Yeah, exactly. But because it's
like,
so
how
long,
could-
it's
how
such
could
a
they
fucking
cram it
commitment.
into that? Yeah.
Like it's the bigger games. I think have harder replayability unless you absolutely fucking love them. Because
Yeah.
it's such a fucking long, drawn out thing. Like, are you really gonna like not play something new to go back and play an 80-hour long game? Like, it's I don't know.
I think you're definitely onto something there with that. To be fair, like I would say, any of the games that I would go back to are like quite short.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like in terms of modern things, like, and I'm still playing it even now. Like I keep going back to Ghost Recon Breakpoint just to keep playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really gaining anything by playing it anymore. I just fucking love it.
But then you've played Mafia 3 probably about 8 times.
Yeah, Mafia 2 as well would probably be one. There are loads of like.
Would you not say Last of Us is up there for you?
Yeah, 100%. So there's definitely a few. Last of Us, like 100%.
Black Flag.
Mafia 2, Black Flag. I always randomly go back to that. Sleeping Dogs. I always randomly go back to that. Like Spec Ops: The Line. But I think there's definitely one in particular that I always go back to. It's been years in the making, and that's Max Payne 3.
Yeah, you do.
It's like a 6-hour game, and I always go back to it. I fucking love it. And like, I love it. It's just him talking absolute shit the entire game. Like, so terribly but amazingly written. Like, they'll just be having a conversation with a guy, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey man, where are you? I'm from Sao Paulo and stuff." And he's like, "This place made me want to puke." Like, I fucking love it. It's so shit. It's great. Like,
Yeah.
Max Payne 3 for me. That's the game I keep going back to.
Nice.
I think it's hard for me because a lot of the time, unless the game has that where it's different when you play it, or there's a bit of your own campaign or progression that takes a long time. I know you said about F1 Manager, but the thing I loved about playing that, and it's the same with why I played a lot of FIFA, was it was that taking a team or a thing from one place and slowly building it up to something else, or like to become more. So like with FIFA, it's like taking a small team, getting them through the leagues, then getting into like cup competitions, and before you know it, like to actually get to that point, it's hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
And that's why I played so much F1 Manager, but I have
He just lives for the grind of such a minuscule progress.
Literally, yeah. It's like the slow progression, but actually like feeling like there's something there. It's not just, like doing this one task over and over. I don't know, there's a little bit more something to it. Yes, F1 Manager has now got to the point where it has just got stale. I've got to the top and now it's just boring, so I've stopped playing it, and I'm pretty happy to wait until the next one of that now. But in terms of like the other types of games, based off like pure playthroughs, it's probably Dead Space 2, Uncharted 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just on like Dead Space, one of the few, if not only, games where I platinumed it and then played it again.
I was going to say Uncharted 2 is just such a good game.
Uncharted 2, Dead Space I must have played probably about 6 times through. Uncharted 2 probably about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Because of like when it was remastered and stuff. And because originally when to do crushing, you had to like do the ones prior. I think on original Uncharted 2, so you had to at least do like 3 playthroughs or 2 playthroughs to then get crushing.
I miss that in games where you had to like it gave you a reason to replay it type of thing.
Although I bet actually I maybe played Dead Space 3 now more than 2. Because you had to do like 5 playthroughs just for the trophies.
I just had a weird thought, by the way, like while you were saying Uncharted and stuff. I remembered how much I loved Uncharted 4 combat, specifically in the campaign, because the multiplayer combat's like slightly different. Like all the guns were just
free.
like
even the multiplayer combat I thought was really good. Like,
yeah, but
it was very fun. I loved it when we all went back and played it a few years ago.
Yeah, the campaign thing. And what I was thinking is like Uncharted 4 for me had some of the worst combat encounters kind of thing.
But the
like
most fun
in the
combat.
series, but the most fun combat. And I was thinking, what if instead of like remaking them all to Uncharted 4's level, they just remake the main combat encounters? I think that'd be fucking sick. I'd love to play through them again. Like, there's one that I always remember from Uncharted 2, right at the end. Like, it's like when you go into Shambhala and stuff, and there's a bit where there's like a load of people and guardians. Not the big staircase bit, the bit just after that, where you're in a big open courtyard. And I remember thinking, this is such a fucking cool encounter. And imagine playing that in the Uncharted 4's like shooting engine and stuff like
That
that.
would be really fucking cool.
Uncharted 4 is so fucking good. Oh my god.
I never liked fighting the Guardians though, and Uncharted 4 is good. I remember I recently played it a couple of months ago, but like it was the case of like it was better than I remember it being, but still not as good as the other Uncharted's.
Oh,
like it's just I never remember it fondly because I think the combat encounters just weren't as memorable as the other games.
I really want to get it on PC to replay it. I mean, I know it's on sale right now, but because Last of Us is coming up and I'm playing that soon, I can't really warrant spending 30 quid on it. But
also, it has those fucking most boring flashback sequences I think I've ever seen in a game ever. Like all the flashbacks.
Well, they had to do it to retro get a new character, and didn't they? Really?
Yeah.
If they would, I think they needed it for first story reasons. But I know what you mean. To go back and replay it, it's a bit shit. But for the whole plot of the story of, oh, I have a brother I've never mentioned. Why would I never mention about him? Oh,
I mean, maybe
left him in jail.
The whole house bit is just a bit like they were like, oh, it worked in Last of Us. It's going to work in this. But you were just walking. It didn't really tie to the character. You were just walking around this woman's house, being like, "Oh, look, cool samurai hat."
That was the elements of where they tried to get in that like Bond characterness from Last of Us in.
But they tried to shoehorn it in like a 40-minute section instead of over the course of like 2 games.
I don't know. I feel like that kind of stuff like adds massive depth. Like it shows like why he's into like what he's doing.
It does, but I think there's a way you can do it where it's still fun to replay.
Yeah.
Maybe like it's fine the first time you play those things, but I always find always games seem to have those bits. Here's the fucking shit bit where you're not playing the fun part and you're just like walking around.
And sometimes, like when you've not got a lot of time in your hands and you just jump back in, you're like, "Fuck! I've got to trudge through this whole like 30-minute section." And by the time that 30 minutes done, I'm probably gonna have to go. And it's when you have situations like that, it makes it so shit.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Wow. There you go, then.
There we go.
And this is how we end all podcasts. We just sort of go,
well then.
Well,
I guess that's what we've been playing.
Thank you very much for everyone that's joined in.
Yeah, we was going to do album review as well today, but this has taken an hour and a half. So
long one.
It's a good job we probably didn't.
Yeah.
So
thank you
We'll do
very
it on
much
Wednesday anyway.
do it on Wednesday. Thanks for anyone who watched. Keep gaming.
And thank you for keep gaming. Fuck off.
We're gonna have that on a fucking t-shirt. Keep gaming.
Keep calm and game.
Play any of the games we said and let us know what you think. Especially Mudrunner more than any of them, because you know.
Fuck it.
God tier.
I also
game.
played
God tier.
1,000 out of 11.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll end the stream as well.
Why is it so
I never know how to fucking end it. We don't have a fucking system like we do an album review.
Bye.
Bye.